Jordan Belfort was already pouring the next round, and this time, he wasn't alone. Enter Danny Porish, a fast-talking, drug-snorting misfit from Long Island with the charm of a salesman and the instincts of a hustler. He wasn't from Wall Street, and on some days, it didn't feel like he was from the same planet. But he could close, and Jordan saw something in him. Hunger, loyalty, no breaks. Together, they were dangerous. Jordan had the vision. Danny brought the chaos. And from that chaos, they built their empire. Introducing Stratton Oakmont. The name sounded prestigious, like it had a 100-year legacy and leather-bound books. In reality, it was a strip mall boiler room with flickering lights, mismatched desks, and exactly zero regulatory oversight. The early recruits? They weren't analysts. They weren't even qualified. They were bartenders, college dropouts, and neighborhood hustlers. But Jordan didn't want experience. He wanted hunger. He didn't need thinkers. He needed closers. Then came the training. Jordan developed a method called straight line persuasion, a psychological pressure cooker designed to turn stammering rookies into high-pressure machines. He taught them to bulldoze hesitation, drown out doubt, and guide a prospect from hello to where do I send the check in a single, unbroken line. Soon the office took on a rhythm, fast, loud, and addictive. Phones never stopped ringing. Orders never stopped flowing. The energy was electric, the egos were growing, and so was the money. But Stratton's brilliance wasn't just in how it sold. It was in who it sold to. They targeted the forgotten investors, the working-class retirees, the desperate parents, the people Wall Street ignored. Stratton sold them hope, wrapped in urgency, dressed in false certainty, backed by made-up projections. At first, it was obscure penny stocks, pink sheet garbage with names like BZZT or YUMY, companies that barely existed outside their own press releases. But once the money started flowing, the schemes evolved. Now it wasn't just fake companies, it was real IPOs. They bought up massive blocks of cheap shares, then turned the sales floor into a hype machine. Call after call, promise after promise. They flooded the market with manufactured excitement, spiked the stock, and then dumped everything at the top, leaving thousands of investors holding the bag. It was called a pump and dump. But at Stratton Oakmont, it was called Another Tuesday. By the early 90s, the firm had exploded. Stratton wasn't just a brokerage, it was a carnival. The office? A blur of screaming phones, air horns, testosterone, $2,000 suits, and enough narcotics to kill a rhinoceros. Jordan built a system where fear and loyalty were currency. Top performers were treated like royalty. Bonus checks, vacations, even watches tossed across the office like candy. Underperformers? Humiliated, cut loose, replaced in hours. And then came the parties. Strippers in the conference room, champagne overflowing into fax machines, lines of coke snorted off compliance manuals. Nothing was sacred. Not the furniture, not the company car, not even the fire extinguisher. Someone once filled with whipped cream and tequila. Jordan had officially become a cult leader in Armani. He bought a helicopter. He named his yacht after his wife, Naomi. He owned mansions, Lamborghinis, and Rolexes. And through it all, he preached the same sermon. Success is everything. And if you're not winning, you're nothing. On paper, Stratton Oakmont was thriving. They brought companies public. They raised hundreds of millions. The firm was growing faster than anyone could believe. But under the surface, it was all smoke and mirrors. Because when you can't sell the truth, you sell the dream. And Jordan Belfort had built an empire doing exactly that.